Hi, I'm Rex, and well, I sort of fell out of a tree. Actually, I totally fell out of a tree. I went down 26 feet and hit a concrete bike path head first. Yes, I'm incredibly grateful to be alive. I had major head trauma with bleeding in the brain in 3 places. I was in a coma for 5 days. I broke 20 bones. I spent over a month in the hospital, and I had to go through nearly 2 years of surgery and therapy to basically get back to health. While on the one hand this has been a most difficult and challenging of experiences for sure, I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's also been the most transformational, most profound experience of my life. I can't tell you how grateful I am to have come through all of this. And the most profound part of this experience for me is what happened while I was near death. And I did have a vision, that moment of awakening. Now, what I feel like I was experiencing was my own pure being. I knew I was still me. I had a total sense of self, however, no sense of my body at all. But I was me. In the purest sense of the expression, I was me. But I was also pure being itself. For that moment, I was experiencing the all of everything. I was experiencing the divine. I mean, we can call it the ultimate observer, the great spirit, simply the source, or God. For that matter, we could call it Bob for all I care. The point is, just for a moment, I could feel the essence of my own pure being as the essence of being itself. It was light, it was dark, it was everything in between. And in this space, there wasn't communication per se. It was like a thought process. I knew I was coming back. There was no sense of me being given a choice or even a yearning for wanting to cross over. Something that in a way I just automatically understood. It was just information that was just somehow already there, that I would be coming back and living out the rest of my life. But with this information that has basically woken up inside of me. Now, while in that space, I felt a sense of all of space-time. We know that space-time is an intricately interwoven fabric. It's very malleable and adaptable, and we understand in many ways it's not what we think it is, despite what we experience with it. So with that, imagine the universe, the expanse of whatever the universe might really be, as that singularity. Perhaps that point in which it was before the proposed Big Bang. And in that singularity, imagine all of time, past, present, and future, all at once. But it's even more than that. Think about concepts of multiple realities and parallel universes. Talking about a space of just pure probability and possibility with every single possibility. I'd say that every possibility we can imagine, but this goes well beyond imagination, certainly our own human imagination. And with that, imagine infinite dimensions. You start to get a sense of that, is to start to get a sense of what I was for a moment. What I've come to realize we all are inside. This is not, I'm somehow different than anybody else. This is something that's at the core source of all of our beings. Every single one of us, no exceptions. And everything for that matter. Now with that, like many near-death experiencers, I had the sense of just pure, unadulterated, all-encompassing love in the most beautiful sense. Even after all this time, I still have difficulty trying to find the right words to really do justice to the experience. And with that, imagine that of pure spirit, pure chi, pure prana. I was experiencing the essence of life. Everything, all that is, from the core source on out, it's alive. It may not be organic as we know it, but it is alive. It is part of the divine conscious experience. Because this being is also pure mind. I felt intelligence. It's not intelligence like you and I identify with as being intelligence, but the pure essence and source of intelligence itself. That all-knowing mind. I mean, everything that we experience, all that we perceive to be creation, every bit of it is a result of the divine mind. It's a result of that divine imagination. And this mind, this being, is experiencing itself through every single one of us as we experience divinity. If this being knows all and is the all, it's because it is the experience of all. From the lightest light to the darkest dark. And no matter how dark anything or anyone is, underneath it all is the same core source that exists within all of us. I learned that there really is but one soul. It is the divine soul, that soul of God. But it's this soul that is having infinite soul experiences through infinite incarnations, which is where we come in and the idea of a soul path comes in. And of course, the idea that we all have a soul, which of course we do. But it is the one divine soul. It is the soul of God, which is one of the key reasons why God is a part of every single one of us, no matter what we believe, no matter how we perceive it. Again, just by the nature of our existence, it is at the source of every single one of us. Now, I'm no religious expert, but I'm going to paraphrase a quote from Jesus Christ. He basically said that you are capable of doing as I have done. In fact, you are capable of doing even greater. And what that tells me is that Jesus and those like him, like a Krishna, like the Buddha, Muhammad, Haile Selassie, Kuan Yin, Lao Tzu, these people are not the exceptions to the rule. Jesus is not the exception to the rule. He is the example. They are the examples to show us all what we're capable of being. I mean, we haven't barely begun to tap into our true potential as a collective human consciousness. Now, many individuals out there are tapping into that potential and living those loving, abundant lives that we should all be living. I mean, planet Earth, even with nearly 7.5 billion people, has the resources for every man, woman, and child to live in abundance, to have everything they could possibly need or want. Now imagine a world where that was the norm. This is something that everybody is born into. That which makes people special. Those areas in which people can excel, or those areas with which people are passionate, can be nurtured from day one. If that were happening, generation after generation, I don't think there would be the level of slackerism that we see in today's world. Especially given most people don't like what they're doing. Most people spend 40 plus hours a week doing something they really don't like doing. It stresses them out, makes them unhappy. And when you're stressed and unhappy, it's very difficult to think on these deeper levels. But the point is this again goes for everybody. We are capable of such great things, every single one of us. We are capable of creating the life of our dreams, every single one of us. And think about it. If everybody is doing that, no matter what walk of life they come from, it will make us all so much stronger individually as well as collectively. And we do have the right to be that which we choose to be, that which we feel we are meant to be, but to do so without judgment, without harm, or concern for some form of recourse as a result of your beliefs or who and what you are. Everyone deserves the opportunity to be the best at what they're meant to be. And having so many different expressions of, say, religion, of the divine, so many different philosophies and perspectives, that's a natural part of our growth of coming to understand God, coming to understand creation, coming to understand everything with which we are a part. We are meant to be divine beings. We are meant to be inquisitive beings. We can do anything we set our minds to. If we're all making the world a beautiful, special place, and our own little part of the world and the whole world can be that beautiful, special place it was always meant to be. Life on earth is not meant to be lived in misery. Looking at this as a human collective, I mean, we've been walking down the path of war, hatred, prejudice for thousands of years. How's that been working out for us? For the most part, not too well. And if anything, because of technology, our ability to destroy things is getting bigger and bigger. But at the same time, there's a lot of benefits to technology as well. But the point is, how many more times do we have to go through that before we just finally decide to draw the line in the sand and say enough? We can do better than this, individually and collectively. I do believe in the human race. I realize we have quite the process ahead of us in taking steps towards eventually achieving this world peace. And I know there are plenty of people saying it'll never happen. That's okay, I understand. And I don't blame you for thinking that. There's a lot of reasons to believe that. But I'm going to tell you right here, right now, we can make the decision to shift at any point. Start individually, of course, but that transcends into the collective consciousness as well. We created the world that we live in today. We can also create a world of peace, a world where we can be living the life of our dreams. I love you. I believe in you. And seriously, here's to living the life of our dreams. Here's to living in abundance and living in love. One step at a time, one person at a time. I really do wish you all the best. And I really do hope you find your way in this life. Peace.